do we know that the Earth is round? One of the most famous images of Earth is called the Blue Marble. It was snapped in 1972 from a distance of about 18,000 miles by the crew of the Apollo 17 spacecraft, and it shows our planet as a water and cloud-covered sphere against the black backdrop of space. However, there are people who claim that this image is part of a vast conspiracy to trick people into believing that Earth is round, when in reality, they say, it's as flat as a pancake. Members of a group known as the Flat Earth Society point to the visible horizon and say that since they can't see the curve of the globe, that the planet must be a flattened disk. How do we know that it's not? Well, no one has ever documented this so-called edge of the Earth, which flat earthers say is ringed with a giant wall of ice. And scientists have been explaining how we know the Earth is round since the 3rd century BC. Earth is so big that from a person's vantage point on the ground, its curvature is simply impossible to see. But the ancient Greeks were able to see Earth's curve by looking at the sun's position and comparing shadows that it cast in different places at the same time of day. The laws of gravity also explain how a spherical planet would form, with its mass attracting matter in space and building a shape outward from a central core. And on a spherical planet, gravity's pull from the center is what keeps our feet on the ground. Not to mention that in the 16th century, Ferdinand Magellan sailed completely around the world, which would have been impossible on a flat Earth surrounded by an icy wall. Earth isn't a perfect sphere, more like an irregularly shaped ellipsoid, according to the National Ocean Service. But for those arguing that it's pancake-shaped, that idea falls a little flat. The shape of the Earth, just one of life's little mysteries. Earth is so big that from a person's vantage point on the ground, its curvature is simply impossible to see. But the ancient Greeks were able to see Earth's curve by looking at the sun's position and comparing shadows that it cast in different places at the same time of day. Earth is so big that from a person's vantage point on the ground, its curvature is simply impossible to see. It's as flat as a pancake.